I'd like to start out with just an exercise. Without looking at a clock or your computer, think of what time it is. Okay, now you can look at the clock. If you said it was around 10:30 or 10 or 11, and if you told somebody that it's 11 o'clock, is that a lie? This is a very important question. One of the things I have learned in deliberative bodies, both at Central Committee meetings, of which I was an executive member at our county level, and especially here in the House chamber, is that we do not impugn people's motives. Now, in the Ethics Committee, there was testimony given by the defendant that said that she thought that all of the members of the minority party signed on to the complaint. It was later revealed that only 8 of the 12. There was a member of the committee that said she lied. Now, let me read the definition of lie in the vernacular, in the regular dictionary. Lying requires that a person make an untruthful statement. Now, let's look at the legal definition. It goes on and says, requires that a person make an untruthful statement with the intention that the other person believe that the untruthful statement to be true. Now, I don't think the defendant purposely made the statement that all of the minority party signed up and that, therefore, that was not a lie. That was her estimation of what had happened. That was not a statement of fact. That was a recollection. Now, if we're talking about impugning character, and we have a member of the Ethics Committee who is supposed to be above reproach as far as behavior, proper behavior in that committee towards a defendant, that title of lying stuck, once it was established, stuck with subsequent statements that the defendant made. Lie, lie, lie. We heard that repeatedly in the Ethics Committee. It's impugning motivation and character. It didn't belong. That shows impartiality from at least one member of the Ethics Committee. They should be above that. That showed their lack of character, not the defendant's. It was also stated that the defendant was evasive in some of her answers. Well, if you have 2 members of the Ethics Committee who are attorneys, and the Ethics Committee hired a 3rd attorney to represent the committee as a whole, and you couldn't afford the defense that is normally given to a defendant in a criminal trial through the public defender's office, wouldn't you be a little bit concerned and very careful about what kind of statements you were made, because you know what the effect and what the intention, I'm being very careful, what the apparent intention of the Ethics Committee was at that time? Of course you're going to be cautious and careful in the words that you use to defend yourself. So that is not an issue that really needs to be in the report. Lastly, I'd like to also make the statement that has been made before and was reiterated by one of the gentlemen, and that was that the former Lieutenant Governor of Idaho, a 40-year veteran attorney who has served on multiple commissions, also admitted that he made a mistake in sending out an unredacted copy to the press with the same information that the defendant made shortly thereafter. Now, if an attorney and a lieutenant governor is not a good enough source for a person to use as a model for behavior, we're all sunk. We might as well just go home because we don't have any better models than that. So for these reasons, and one last point is that when when the defendant was asked to remove that material, the source that she originally provided the link to had already removed that material, and she certainly couldn't undo the mailings that she had sent out, and certainly her website became moot at that point. The information was already removed. So for these reasons, I think the efforts of the Ethics Committee are totally unfounded, and I will certainly be voting against the report of the committee. Thank you.
Is there further debate?